Hello, everybody. This is our Mastis, and you're watching our Mastis Live, and it is February the 7th, 2021, and I believe for you foosball fans, this is Super Bowl Sunday. I am not a fan of the foosball, just never really was, but if it's your thing, hey, good day for you. But for the rest of us who are into the Final Fantasy TCG, this is some more good news for the week. We have some amazing stuff to talk about. We've got a few more Opus 13 spoilers. We've got some ban list updates. We've got some promo stuff to talk about. And then we're also going to give a little bit of my thoughts about the Final Fantasy TCG. Before we jump into all of that, I hope you all are doing well. I hope you're taking care of yourselves, being kind, being loving to yourself and to others. I have links also to BetterHelp.com. I am not a sponsor, not yet, hopefully one day. But I like to provide that link for those of you who are going through any kind of mental health problems. Please take care of yourself and take care of those around you. If you see that someone's going through trouble, just reach out. Even just a simple, hey, how you doing can go a very, very long way. And let's see what else. Oh yes, I'd like to thank and welcome all my new subscribers over on the old Twitch, on the YouTube, on the Instas. You all are awesome. Let's keep it going. Let's just keep it going, because once we reach 100 people, we're gonna do a giveaway, and I'll make the giveaway worthwhile. I mean, it's not gonna be like $1 million. I mean, I'll take $1 million if you got it, but it will be worth your while. Let me think. Lastly, oh yeah. Links to my deck profile that I featured on Friday. It was called March Ritz and the Emperor's Control. Links are in the video description for that as well. Go check that out. And I think that's it. I'm still excited about the haircut. You may not be, but you know what? I am. I'm pretty happy about that. All right, I'm done babbling. Let's go ahead and get ready to jump into this here. All right, so before we jump into our first spoilers, what I kind of want to talk about first is my thought on the current state of the Final Fantasy TCG. Behind me, I have a beautiful background, which you all can enjoy while I'm talking. I'm part of now of the Final Fantasy TCG community on Facebook, on Reddit, and other places I can't think of right now in my mind because I'm like out of it. But yeah, and some concerns that I hear as well from just other people is like, what's the state of the trading card game? Is it dying? Is it gone? Like, what's happening with Final Fantasy? And not from everybody. Not from everybody. I don't want to like give the scare thing that like we all think it's all doomed. No. But I was calling around different local stores today. I was trying to, I was actually searching for, hoping that someone still locally had some Opus 11 boxes. I thought I'd try, right? And a few places that I called either just sold out of all their Final Fantasy product, or have decided to just stop carrying it for whatever reason. And I had like a couple, I believe, which were saying like, oh no, that card game is dead. And that kind of made me laugh. And usually when I hear these kinds of things, I don't necessarily go to the doom and gloom scenario, like it's all done, pack it up, all that time, the money spent, all the playthroughs and like all the tournaments we've all been to. Well, maybe you, not me. I haven't been to a tournament yet because I started during the zombie apocalypse, but hopefully post zombie apocalypse I'll be going to some tournaments. But anyway, it makes it feel like, okay, well, it all isn't worthwhile. Let me give you my thoughts on this whole thing. Okay, this is again just my opinion. Here's my thoughts. So as I've mentioned before, back in the day, it doesn't even feel like that long ago, but I guess for some of you it was a long time ago, because some of you probably weren't even born yet, if you are young and you play Final Fantasy TCG. But yeah, so I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Around 2000, 2001. I play it no more. I retired. Yes, I retired because I say retired because I was a professional Yu-Gi-Oh! Player at the time. There's some internet stuff on me like that was written, there's no video stuff really because, YouTube really wasn't a thing to video like TCG play or anything. But I'm sure if you Google whatever, anyway, doesn't matter. doesn't matter. There's some also embarrassing stuff on me. Maybe don't Google. Do not Google me. Anyway, so yeah, so when I had started back in 2001, Yu-Gi-Oh was about, four and a half years old here in the United States of America. And it was, of course, still doing well in Japan because really where it started. It was doing fairly well in like Europe area, and back then when the UK was part of Europe. It seemed to be doing, pretty well there. But the biggest game was Magic, right? And in my hometown, even Pokemon wasn't as big as Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon kind of weren't that big. I'm sure in some other areas in the U.S. it was, but it was all about Magic. Like there's just Magic everywhere. There's Magic the Gathering this and Magic the Gathering that, which is a great game. It's an awesome game. I miss all my friends, also all of you back there in Hawaii. Miss you all. We're Magic players. Anyway, and during that time when I was trying to get into Yu-Gi-Oh, kind of like I'm trying to do right now with Final Fantasy TCG, I would go around my local card shops and I would get kind of the same thing, right? Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh's dead. We're no longer carrying the product. It's not as good, and like one store had this really rinky-dink tournament. Really not many people showed up. It was always the same faces. I was one of them. And for a while, at that time, I thought, well, is it even worth trying to get into this game? Because I'm like, this game's going to go nowhere. I'm going to end up spending a ton of money for nothing. And this is dumb. Maybe I shouldn't. Like that was one part of it. But the other part of it was just super excited because TCGs were like new to me and I thought it was very cool. And so, I bought some like Magic stuff when I was like young as well, but I kind of didn't pay too much attention to it. I still think I have some of those old Magic cards somewhere back in my old home, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe one day I'll find them. I really hope so. Anyway, so yeah, a lot of the stuff I was getting from people was just negative feedback about Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, it's not going to make it. It's going to die. It's not great. It's not good, and I think it's because people were just favoring Magic. Magic was kind of like first to my area and it grew fast. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Was something that was from Japan and, Asian type of games and that kind of thing, especially back in 2000, 2001 in my hometown. It's just, it just really wasn't that popular. But, come a few years later and Yu-Gi-Oh's still going. And then it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And it's just like, all of a sudden, Yu-Gi-Oh is everywhere in the United States, and it's this huge thing now that we see today. So, do I think Final Fantasy TCG has a future? I think it has as much a future as it does any trading card game, honestly, right? Any physical trading card game. Virtual, a little bit different. I think that's a bit of a different conversation. I think Final Fantasy TCG should have also a virtual counterpart like Pokemon does, Square Enix. I've told you this. If you ever watch this, Square, seriously, come on. Do what Nintendo does. It's okay. It's okay to copy sometimes, right? They have a virtual counterpart to their physical. Please do the same thing. Anyway, yeah, do I think it has a future? Yes, as well as any other trading card game. So, and what I mean by that, right, before we all start, you might disagree with me, and that's fine if you want to. Leave your comments. I want to know what your thoughts are on this. The thing is that all these trading card games, right, especially during the pandemic, and we're talking about future as far as the tournament play, and which also does play a big impact on collectability, right? They all kind of have the same amount of I want to say this carefully. I don't want to say they have the same amount of risk. I guess what I mean to say is that nothing is guaranteed with the trading card game industry, right? It's just not, okay? Obviously, Magic has been around for a long time. Pokemon's been around for a long time. Yu-Gi-Oh's been around for a long time, right? They have the years behind it for different reasons. They have the foundation to them. Final Fantasy is still comparatively in its infancy, right? It's only about 4.5-ish years old from the current state of the Final Fantasy TCG. As you and I know, for those of us who have been in the game for a while, it has been around Square Enix did try to do a previous type of Final Fantasy TCG. You can like find, you know what I'm talking about. I can't remember what it's called, but they had tried it before and they kind of rebooted it again with like Opus 1. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Did the same thing, actually. People forget that Yu-Gi-Oh! Failed its first time go, right? I think it was called like Duel Monsters or something like that. It wasn't even called Yu-Gi-Oh! I believe. And then they kind of redid it again, and Square Enix is doing it again. And right now, every TCG, as far as on the competitive side, is struggling with dealing with the whole pandemic, right? I think, but what on the other side, what's going on right now with TCGs in general, because we can't go to tournament play, collectability has risen up like immensely, honestly, for all the TCGs. The value of all the TCGs across the board, not just, you know, the top three, right? Like Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Pokemon. Those are our top three right now, right? That order can change at any time too, right? But those are our top three. Those have struggled on the competitive side, but the collectability has skyrocketed. Same with the Dragon Ball TCG. Same with, oh my gosh, I just totally forgot the name of the other one. I'm so sorry. There's one I had in my head. Even the Digimon stuff, right? That came out during the pandemic. And I don't think we've seen any competitive play, but it's all sold out. Final Fantasy stuff sold out, and that's because people are, you know, digging into their hobbies and, you know, buying the product, and that's a good thing. And I think that's great for Final Fantasy, so I think that adds to the longevity. Obviously, Square Enix is still supporting it despite the pandemic. And so I guess the whole point of this, my little spiel, my thoughts process, my rant, is no matter what TCG you're going to get into, they each have their different level of risks, right? If you're going to, you know, whether or not you're looking at it in terms of like competitive play or collectability, they all have their different levels of risks, right? Some are much higher than others. I think Square Enix Final Fantasy, you know, the fact that they're still supporting the TCG, they're still giving updates, new sets, and all that other cool stuff, I think does give a stronger foundation to the game. Can I promise myself, you know, can I promise to you all that it's going to keep going? No. You know, can I promise that Magic, that Wizards of the Coast is going to keep supporting for the next 2, 3, 4 years? No. Right? Like, is there a greater chance that like Wizards of the Coast may keep doing it over Square Enix? Maybe. Yes. You know, I guess like with everything, I would say, yeah, there's more of a chance, but I don't know. And I think that's the kind of the point, is that we don't know, right? And so I think we should just keep, let's just do what we enjoy doing, you know, keep playing, keep trying to support however we can, keep collecting, right? And I'm going to keep doing it too. And even if the end of the journey, right, if everything just falls flat in its face and it just goes poof, right, like the old Naruto TCG did, then, oh well, hey, we had a great time doing it, right? And we had a community. I'm very thankful already for some of the individuals that I've met. You all have been freaking just awesome. Every single one of you have been great, really kind people, individuals, compassionate, and even more so than I found, and I want to say this carefully because it's not always true, like even more so far than I found like in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community back in the day. But I say that carefully because I had a really good, small, local, loving community. But in the mainland, it was a bit of a different, I'm sorry, I went back when I was in Hawaii, but in the mainland here, in the US mainland, it was not so welcoming, which was a bit odd. I don't know what happened there. But I can say so far with the Final Fantasy TCG, if people I've talked to on the community around the country, in the US and in the UK and in Europe, and Japan, like people have been really nice, and I think that's been really great. And I think we can continue to show support to this game by, of course, you know, buying the product. I am not sponsored by Square Enix, you know, but you know, buying the product. Hopefully one day I can be. You know, collecting, trying to get back into tournament play when that comes back live. And also just being a positive, kind, welcoming, open community is very key. That was another thing that I did in, you know, when I first moved to Hawaii to get playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Was still in its infancy pretty much in Hawaii. And I did my part by starting community events and by just providing loving, great, yes, loving atmospheres, welcoming atmospheres for people to get into the game. And, you know, it may have been just a small little piece, but I really cared about the game. I cared about the community. And I think we can, and it grew, right? Grew in Hawaii. And I think we can do the same thing here, wherever you are in your community. Do your part if you really care about the game. But also, it's not really so much, for me, it's not so much about the game. Maybe it is for you, and that's cool if it is. But for me, it's also, it was an avenue for me to reach out to people and show them some kindness. And I want to be able to treat the Final Fantasy TCG in the same way. I'm hoping here in the Seattle area, when things start opening up, grab people's interests by trying to get the local community card stores to do a little bit of an investment, make, you know, even volunteering my time to try to say, hey, let's get some people in here and let's create a positive atmosphere. Let's show kindness to others. You know, let's show somewhere where people can like get together in a safe space and play some Final Fantasy TCG, right? And I hope that you all will do that too for, you know, within your community too. And just by doing that, of course, the game will naturally just gain in popularity. Okay, I think I'm done with that little rant. I hope you know, you already will follow along with that. Let me know your thoughts, though. I would love to know your thoughts. I include my email as well in the video description. Okay, let's get more now into the news now. So let's see here to start this off. We've got, boom. So some more spoilers for Opus 13. We've got Ramza here. And Ramza, if you control 5 or more category FFT characters, the cost to cast Ramza, the cost required to cast Ramza is reduced by 3. When Ramza enters the field, choose 2 forwards opponent controls. Your opponent puts one of the chosen forwards into the break zone and returns the other to its owner's hand. It's a great card. It's a rare. It's weird that it's a rare. It sounds like it should be a hero card to me, but you know, whatever. So yeah, so we've got some more info on this Ramza card. I think the last week's news I did on this, we didn't have the image, right? But we just had the text, I think. Or maybe the text and the image weren't together or something like that. Anyway, doesn't matter. Here we go, Ramza. It does cost 7, a bit of a hefty price, but when you think about all it's doing, the card advantage maybe isn't actually too bad. It's not also difficult to get FFT characters out onto the play zone. So there we go, Ramza, a forward, 9k power. And let's keep it going here. Let's see here, what are we on? Oh wait, where's my, oh, there we go. I was like, where is it there? I was like, where's the new card at? Okay, there we go, Celestia. So we got Celestia here now. The water characters you control cannot be chosen by opposing. I actually have the card here in like 2 different spaces here. It's actually easier for me to right here. Okay, so the water characters you control cannot be broken by opposing summons or abilities that don't deal damage. We've got quite a few cards that are like that, so that's like that extra protection layer. Moving on here, when an ice character you control is chosen by your opponent's summons or abilities, choose up to 1 character, dole it, and freeze it. This card is incredible. This is, I think we had read this last time on a Facebook post posted by, I think, Jacob Wallace, I think was the name. Thank you again, Mr. Jacob, sir. If that was your name, forgive me if I got it wrong. But I believe he provided text on this card. We just now have the artwork to go around with it. It is a Type 0, which I love the Type 0 stuff. So yeah, let's just break this down really quick. The water characters you control cannot be broken by opposing summons or abilities that don't deal damage. Okay, we have quite a few cards already that exist that adds that that already have this this ability, adds an extra layer of protection to all of your characters. Okay, not just this one forward, but to all of your characters. Think about that. It's really awesome. So cards like what is it? Basically any card that just says break a card. This is going to say, nope, no, you're not. You're going to have to deal damage or reduce a card. If you're talking about a forward, reduce it to 0 if you want to get rid of it. So that's really awesome. The next part here is when an ice character you control is chosen by your opponent's summons or abilities, choose up to 1 character, dole it, and freeze it. So If your opponent decides to target an ice character that you control, character, not just forward, but character, you can then backfire and say, now I'm going to choose one of your characters and I'm going to dull it and I'm going to freeze it. That is awesome. This is an ice water 4 cost, not a big deal, 9k power forward. I think this is a great card. It is obviously a legend, as we see down there, 13-128L. This card's just freaking amazing. So let's move on now to our next card. We've got Stiltskin, which I guess is short for Rumpelstiltskin. I don't know, this cute, a little adorable Moogle Stiltskin looking character. It's a common, but let's read it, and a backup, and it costs 3. And a win. So it is, when Stiltskin enters the field, you may search for one forward of cost 1 or a monster of cost 1 and add it to your hand. Another searcher, backup. There's no card advantage when you think about this card. If you are doling 1 CP on the field and then discarding 1 to play Stiltskin, you're just going to get 1 back. Obviously it's a +1 if you use all your CP on the field already. So this is just a great backup. And if you're going to be running cost 1 forwards and cost 1 monsters, I'm not sure off the top of my head if there's any really super great cost 1 monsters. Let me know. I can't remember. There's a few really good cost 1 forwards, but this will let you thin out your deck and do that search, and it's Wind. I mean, Wind is so good. Wind is just so good in the Final Fantasy TCG. Not maybe as good as Fire, but it's still really good. This is just going to add to it. It's a Moogle. It's a cute, adorable Moogle. I would really love to see a super competitive Moogle deck one day because it's just so cute. That's really the only reason. It's just because it's cute. I know there's a competitive Chocobo deck that's really cute, but yeah. Anyway, or like if we did like a Chocobo Moogle kind of support thing, that would be really cool. Let's see what we've got next here on our spoiler. We've got Delita. So I believe we've showed Delita before. I have short memory. I can't remember. Apparently it seems like I do. But we've got Delita here. Cost 2. It's another common, 5k power forward. Knight FFT. So Delita says, when Delita enters the field, select one of the 2 following actions. Select one character you control, break it. Okay. Choose one character of cost 2 or less in your break zone, add it to your hand. Now, Armastis, why would I want to break my things? I don't like breaking my things. Well, let me tell you, people, in this instance, you want to. With your backups, we know that there are quite a variety of backups out there that exist that have this added benefit of when sent from the field to the to the break zone, or when broken. I was about to say Brecken. Anyway, backups. When backups are destroyed, essentially broken and sent to the break zone, right? Do something. We have lots of cool backup effects that do this kind of stuff. This card right here is going to help us take advantage of that. On top of that, we also have choose one character of cost 2 or less in your break zone, add it to your hand. So not only will it allow us to abuse some of our characters that have this set from play zone to break zone, do something effect, we're also going to have the added ability that we can then add a character of cost 2 or less from our break zone to our hand. This card is extremely good. It's ice and earth, right? So you can play it either in an ice or an earth build, or earth build. And of course, you'll know as long as you have the right CP to pay for it. But anyway, think about all the things you can do with this. I think this card is a great card, a very welcome card, and I think something we'll see a lot more of, especially start abusing some of our backup effects that kick in when they're broken. And let's go on to our next card. And this is a big boy here, the big one that I'm really excited about. I'm sure you all are really excited about. And I don't think we touched base. We've seen the card art. The card art looks incredible. Here's the full art right here. But let's take a look at what this big bad boy does. Cost 5, Wind, Lightning, Golbiz, X-Burst, 9K Power, Warlock, Love, or LOV4. I don't know if it's love, but LOV4. And let's see what he says here. So when Golbiz enters the field, you may search for one card of cost 2 and add it to your hand. Okay, thank you. Let's see here. Damage 6. So when you receive 6 points of damage, when Golbiz enters the field, you may search for up to 3 cards of cost 2 and add them to your hand. What? Okay. Then you may play any number of Job Arcfiend from your hand onto the field. Okay. So this is obviously going to be a legend. It is the promo, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this is the pre-release promo card that we would get as part of the pre-release. I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but yes, it is a pre-release card, I believe. It's promo. This card's incredible, right? It works. It's obviously going to be good in like a control and a late game, big power kind of build. The ability to just search for one card of cost 2 and add it to your hand is a really big thing. So we're talking about backups can be searchable. I mean, basically anything, right? Anything of cost 2. There's a lot of good, powerful cost 2 cards, especially that are of the Wind, Lightning variety. And then, of course, there's the added ability that when you've taken 6 points of damage, you're going to be able to get 3 cards of cost 2 and add them up to 3 cards of cost 2 and add them to your hand. That is redunculous. And if you're going to be playing this in a build that is Job Arcfiend, this is just going to get compounded even more so. Read this last part. Then you may play any number of Job Arcfiend from your hand onto the field. So I think we're going to see some pretty amazing Job Arcfiend type of decks out there. The abuse of this card, I think, is going to be great. I think this is going to be another chase card, in my opinion. Yeah, this is pretty freaking amazing. So I think that's it for our Opus 13 stuff. Moving on here, we've got our, oh yes, our other tournament type of promo cards that I want to talk about here for a second. So this was a January tournament promo card, I believe, given to each person who enters a tournament, and then I think a foil version is given was given to like only a winner of a tournament, I believe, but the non-foil is given out to everybody. So here's the thing, right? Okay, first off, it's a beautiful card. It's Realm, right? I want one. Who doesn't? But right now, because of the pandemic, a lot of us aren't able to get our hands on this. I don't know what Square Enix is going to do. I'm actually going to email Square Enix to see if I can get an answer from them. I'm probably not going to get any information from them. They tend to like keep this stuff really like, you know, close to the chest. But I'm hoping that we can get some information. Like, what about those of us who aren't able to attend a tournament, right? Like right now, is there going to be opportunity for us to eventually get these promos, right? Or do we have to like head over to eBay and pay an arm and a leg from somebody who, you know, wants to sell us one? Not to say that everybody's bad out there. I would say also maybe not go to eBay, but hit up the Facebook Marketplace. Tons of great people out there that aren't going to rip you off, who've got great deals. So go hit up that community first before you go to eBay, in my opinion. But right, the thing is that this is a card that is handed out as just participating, and the fact that we can't participate right now, it's kind of, I mean, I don't know. On the other hand, if Square Enix decides not to like give people post-pandemic a chance to get these cards, I think the value is just going to go up on these cards. So good for you if you can get one. If you're a collector and you get one, great for you. Hold on to it. Potentially lots of value to be had in the future. So this was the January one. Moving on, here is our February promo for tournament play. It's Ifritza. We're all familiar with this card. This card makes basically running multiple Ifrits, even the not so great Ifrits, in a fire build. This card is just so dang good. We've seen lots of play with her with a bunch of fire builds right now. I just want to look at time. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out. Okay, sorry. I know. Like, what am I doing here? Look at the time, how long we've been streaming for. Anyway, this is Ifritza here. we are all familiar. Well, I think if you're not, you will be familiar with this card here. You play it in a bill using a lot of Ifrits. It's super good. Again, another card that I'm hoping Square Enix gives us another chance to get. This is for February. I don't know how I'm going to get my hands on this one without just heading over and needing to buy it from someone. By the way, those of you out there who are willing to sell me around in a free tub, both foil and non-foil, let me know, please. That would be super cool. But if not, that's okay. I'll figure something out. Hopefully we'll get a chance to be able to get something like this. So yeah, that's just the way it is right now. And so moving on here, some news in terms of tournament play. Specifically, the kind of tournament play that I am talking about here is the title format. So let's give your attention specifically to the bottom portion. I do not read Japanese, but I did look it up and also, did some Googling, and a lot of people have translated this, so that's great. But I want to bring our attention specifically to that bottom portion where we're seeing Jesse, Felthanos, and Neo X Death. Those are cards that are banned in the title format play. What is the title format? I actually didn't know what it was. In fact, I didn't know there were various formats of a tournament play. I guess it makes sense that there is, right? I mean, almost every trading card game has different formats. Here is, according to the Square Enix site, what the title format play is. On paragraph 2, the title format comes with some interesting twists on the base FFTCG rules. For example, you can cast cards using crystal points of any color. Cool. And even have several versions of a favorite hero or heroine on the field at the same time. Super cool. Also, makes sense why these cards would be banned, right? Specifically, imagine having 3 Jessies, which just keep depleting the cost of clouds, and also Barrett's, I believe it is. That's kind of broken, especially because there's really good Cloud and Barrett cards out there. And then Felthanos, we all know Felthanos. It's like Felthanos is like immune to everything, even the COVID-19. So having 3 Felthanos out there and you needing to deal with that is super hard. But as so many have been complaining about is this beast of a card. Yeah, Neo X Death. I like this card, okay? I like this card a lot. I really do. I don't even care if I'm going up against it. I still like it. And it's fun to deal with it. I don't know, maybe I'm just like some sadistic person that likes pain. I don't know. But I also, of course, like to play it. And it's super insane. I can understand, though, why in title format this card would be ridiculous. If you have to, like, stare down 3 of those, or even 2. I mean, 1 is bad, 2 is ridiculous, and 3 is just unfair in the title format. Yeah, I could see it. It's banned. So sorry if you were hoping to, play that in the title format. Square Enix was just like, nope, goodbye. So, yeah, that is it. That is our news for February 7th, 2021 for the Final Fantasy trading card game. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, your opinions, your feedback. Send me an email, comment, whatever you want. Also, go check out, again, deck profile for Friday that I did. Links in the video description. Email's there. BetterHelp.com is there. I hope you all stay safe. I hope you're taking care of yourselves, taking care of each other, loving yourselves and loving each other. Remember, you're all wonderful. You're all beautiful. You're all loved. And until next time, from me and the Boba. Where's Boba? Boba? Is Boba around? Oh my gosh, no Boba. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Boba's at. Oh, okay, Boba's not here. Anyway, I guess just from me, for now. Bye-bye.